Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and Zur is in Nessus. He is up here in Watcher's Grave in his little tree fort, so let's see what he's got. For the exotic, we have Queenbreaker again. This is mostly just one to buy for your collections. Yeah, it's an arc linear fusion rifle. We have some other options for that now, especially with Storm Chaser, so really this thing does probably need a rework. Hopefully maybe an ARC 3.0, it gets a little better. If you don't own it, you should at least put it in your collections, because you never know when this is going to get a catalyst or get a big buff or something to make it cool. So if you don't own it, buy it, stick it in the vault, and you're good. For the hundreds, we've got Knucklehead Radar. Good one to help newer players kind of learn PvP. Provides radar while you're aiming. Don't get that a whole bunch. Enhances your radar resolution while crouched, so you get like 8 pieces of the pie instead of 4. It's got 10 in mobility. It does have a little higher resilience, even though in PvP, resilience is not a bad thing to have. You've got some discipline, you've got some strength. It is only a total of 61, but if you haven't had this before, you want to use this to kind of just get a awareness of your surroundings. There are much worse stat pools that you could be working with. For the Titan, very simple exotic Armamentarium, gain an additional grenade charge, but I will tell you, this is a must-own version of this. So if you are a Titan, you ever played Titan, this is one you should buy. Even if right now just the double grenade is a simple perk, the fact that you've got 26 in resilience, in PvE, this is an extremely good thing to have to buff up your resilience now, because it also gets you your barricade faster, which seems to have more functionality, and the damage mitigation. You've got 16 in discipline. Overall, a nice stat distribution for this one to help discipline for grenades, resilience for Titans, and it's a 67 total. Please buy this exotic. I would probably guess many of yours are not as good as this one. The Warlocks, we've got Starfire Protocol. Fusion grenades have an additional charge, so you get 2, and recharge from empowered weapon damage. And I think that's from your empowering rift. Fusion grenade kills, grant rift energy. So it's this cycle of use empowering rift, get some grenade energy back, have 2 grenades, and it's fusion grenades. Now granted, this is very high in resilience, so not typically one for a Warlock, but if you are looking for one for more of a damage mitigation build, you do have 17 in discipline, 25 in resilience, and a good chunk in strength. Not a lot wasted on intellect. The low recovery I don't love, because this is based around your rift. If resilience and recovery were a bit more split, that would be good. But still, resilience is, something people are looking for. But generally, I would like to see more recovery on this one, and 60 is not overall fantastic. For the exotics, we've got Hawkmoon with opening shot, which theoretically isn't bad if you want it for your first piece of the engagement. Some people build into the first engagement, some people build in future engagements. I know some people probably would not put this as high on their list. You've also got textured grip for handling, less stability, and then over here you've got some handling and some recoil control. So it's only a mediocre roll, and then if you come over here and check Dead Man's Tale, you do have 4 times the charm, but I don't think this is going to be winning a whole lot with regards to PvE. I don't think this is going to get used over other exotics. It's just a kind of generally kinetic sniper, kind of scout sniper type situation. 4 times the charm's not bad for that, but again, is it worth all the currency that you spend on this one? Not entirely sure. You got armor piercing. This is kind of a PvE setup. You've got handling and then recoil and handling speed. Not the worst, but again, it's hard to say it's going to be worth the exotic cipher, the ascendant shard, and everything when it's just 4 times the charm. So that's a preference for you guys. For the weapons, let me know in the comments if I miss anything, but generally I would say I don't think there's anything massively exciting here. You've got a Grave Robber and Demolitionist True Prophecy. It's a 120 hand cannon. Not really too exciting on this one, because 120s you can even hit farther at range, so getting close, not so good. Snapshots and Rangefinder on a 180. Now, theoretically, this one's got some potential. You do give up some range here, but your stability is going to be damn near maxed out. You can get some range back with this one as well if you want to give up the other 2. So it kind of depends on if you want this as like snapshot, rangefinder, just a very stable. It's going to be a closer hand cannon with range as a 180. But if that's kind of the preference that you want to work with, it might be very, very stable if you lean into that stability perk. So kind of a preference on that one. Tunnel vision and opening shot, kind of counterintuitive, because the opening shot of an encounter has bonuses, but reloading after defeating a target greatly increases target acquisition and aim down sight. So if you do get a kill and then you turn around, reload, and then go for that second kill, you might have a better option. Unfortunately, these 2 are not helpful for range. It's really low on those. This is another 180. So again, yeah, you can get a buttload of stability on this one. And you've got impact on a hand cannon. Some of these masterworking things are just really weird. Now, impact on a hand cannon shouldn't be there, because it basically makes the weapon hit harder. So this is one that if you want to buy it and experiment and you got a 180, no, I mean, Vulpicula is not anything fantastic. No, it doesn't have headstone in its stasis, but the fact that it has impact is just weird. So maybe you want to pick it up and mess around with that one. If you got a lot of shards, you might see if it's worth anything. You got a sniper rifle with demolition instant auto-loading. not really worth it. Rapid hit and surrounded, you know, if you love your pinpoint slug frame shotguns, maybe. Tireless and surrounded, not exactly amazing for falling guillotine. And then auto-loading in Genesis, nothing too great there. So yeah, like a weird impact to Masterwork on this one. Not a bad couple of 180s if they're kind of your thing. I know they got a little bit of a buff, so mess around with those if you want to, but nothing like to write home about. Not like, you know, must buy Titan Exotic. As for Titan armor, you got a 61, which is fine. You know, it's decent resilience, very high in strength, but only a 61, 58, meh. 62, not bad, decent resilience, a little higher in intellect than I would like. But this one, please, this is like exactly what I'm farming for from Solstice. High resilience, decent recovery, don't care about mobility, high discipline or strength, and then swap the other stats. Like, please, this is like nearly perfect of what I'm looking for right now. High ability uptime, high resilience for a Titan, and high recovery, or about as high as recovery as you're going to get with that high of resilience. 67 total stat, Titans, again, both of these. 67 by both the helmet and then Armamentarium. Now let's go see if the Warlocks and the Hunters got anything good. For the Warlocks, you actually do have a decent one. You got 61, 60, 62, but the 64 here, high recovery, talking 20s, then resilience to back that thing up for some damage mitigation. Intellect, not bad. I wish that was actually in one of the other two slots, but decent strength as well. You Masterwork this one, you'd be up to 76 total stats. This is a decent piece, especially if you don't have great pieces right now. Maybe you don't have the time to go into Solstice farming. This is a decent piece of armor for a Warlock. Definitely seen much worse. So not a bad pickup if you're looking for at least something from Xur for Warlocks this week. Well, for the Hunters, you at least have one interesting specimen. A 55, a 60, that's, you know, you're not lacking too much in resilience here. A 59, fine. This, though, a 30 in recovery. You got 10 in discipline, 20. That's about as spiky of a distribution as you can ask for unless you had two 30s, which is damn near impossible to find. But if you do need to get your recovery boosted up, you're good in other stats in the top category, want some intellect and discipline, a 66 with a 30 spike in recovery, not something to sneeze at. So Hunters, you might want to look at picking this one up as well. And that pretty much wraps it up for the Xur. If you guys have not seen my Solstice guide, if you guys want to actually help support the channel, that's a good one to watch. And also I cover basically everything in there. I already got my Flamekeeper title, so that should hopefully let you guys get your title and also help you grind for some very good armor, because you can build armor to what you're looking for. Some of that stuff that almost looks like that Titan piece I mentioned as well. So check out my Solstice guide. The link should be floating right here on the page. If you want to find me on Twitter or Twitch, it is Ebontis there. Right here on YouTube, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, leave a comment, even if it's just to say hello. If you aren't subbed yet, hit that subscribe button and the alert bell. Those are your YouTube members or Patreon subs. Thank you for that extra support. All of you are fantastic. I'll see you soon.